If you've been thinking about publishing a book and have considered self-publishing as an option, you may be asking yourself, is self-publishing even worth it in 2026, or is the market too saturated? Well, today we are going to talk about it. Let's be honest. In 2026, there are more books being published every year than ever before. AI is flooding certain areas of the market, and social media makes it look like everyone else is already successful. So is self-publishing really worth it in 2026? Today, I'm going to give you the real answer. We're going to talk about the pros and cons for self-publishing in today's market, and who self-publishing is right for in 2026. And if you're new here, I'm Amanda. I help new authors navigate the publishing process with clarity and confidence by breaking down the details of what it really takes to publish a book successfully. So if this interests you, make sure you smash that subscribe button. So to really determine if self-publishing is a viable path in today's market, we first have to take a look at the state of the industry in 2026. Right now, self-publishing is more competitive than ever before, but it's also more accessible, professional, and profitable for those authors who approach it strategically. The barrier to entry in self-publishing is low, but the path to success is a little more complicated. Anyone can upload a book to Amazon, but few authors understand how to position their book properly to actually sell. That's an important distinction, and we're going to talk about the difference throughout this video. First, let's talk about the pros of self-publishing in 2026. First, there's creative control. Self-publishing offers the author full control over your title, your cover, your content, your release timeline, your pricing, and your marketing strategy. That means no gatekeeping and no waiting for someone else's approval. An author with a clear vision and practical strategy can be very successful in this atmosphere. Our second pro is higher royalty potential. Traditional publishing offers average royalties of about 8 to 15%. The publisher takes on the upfront costs and risks, so they keep most of the earnings once the book is published. On the other hand, self-publishing through platforms like KDP can offer royalties up to 70%. That's a huge difference. If you know how to position your book properly, you have even greater earning potential in the long run. The third pro is speed to market. Traditional publishing takes usually between 18 to 36 months, and that's often after you've waited several months or even years to get accepted by an agent. Self-publishing, on the other hand, offers a much quicker timeline. You get to control the timeline and decide how long you want to wait to publish your book. That means you have potential to collect your earnings sooner and longer. And if this is something you plan to do more of, you can get to your next book even faster. Pro number 4 is ownership and asset building. When you publish the book yourself, you own all the rights, your email list, your platform, and all of your back-end offers. Your book becomes more than just a product on the market. It becomes a business asset. This is great for any author, but specifically for coaches, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders, this can be a huge benefit. Now let's talk about a few cons that pop up when self-publishing a book. It's important that we understand the potential pitfalls before we go all in. Number 1 is market saturation. There are millions of books published every year, and this can make the market look flooded. However, most of these books are insufficiently edited, positioned incorrectly, or marketed poorly. For a book to stand out in this market, it must meet professional standards, or it'll get lost in the surge. The second drawback to self-publishing is responsibility. As the publisher, you are responsible for everything. That means editing, cover design, formatting, metadata, marketing, launch strategy, and audience building. Now, that doesn't mean you have to do it all yourself, but you have to manage it all. For new authors who aren't familiar with the publishing industry, this can feel overwhelming. And there are plenty of areas where you can make mistakes along the way. Con number 3, marketing is essential. In 2026, organic discovery of a book, or any product for that matter, is rare. You will have to do the work to position your book properly and get it into the hands of the right readers. For many creatives, this can feel like an issue. Many authors have a natural aversion to marketing because they don't want to feel slimy or salesy. However, what most authors don't realize is that you're probably going to have to do some marketing yourself, whether you self-publish or traditionally publish. Most traditional publishers will only do the bare minimum in marketing, leaving the bulk of the marketing to the author. So, to answer our earlier question, is self-publishing worth it in 2026? In my opinion, the answer is absolutely, if you approach it with a clear and strategic plan of action. It's not worth it if you rush through the publishing process or skip professional editing or use a generic cover that doesn't match industry standards. Don't take the time to define your ideal reader, and don't take the time to build a powerful platform. In self-publishing, these mistakes can cost you dearly. However, self-publishing is definitely worth it if you treat your book like a business, position it intentionally, build an ecosystem around it, and if necessary, get guidance from someone who understands the publishing industry. Treating your book like an asset instead of a hobby can make a huge difference in its overall success. Here's what most people don't realize about self-publishing a book. Your biggest risk isn't failure, it's actually misalignment. Authors who don't end up treating their book with professionalism end up wasting time, money, energy, and often lose confidence in their work. That's why I highly recommend connecting with a publishing coach like me or another professional who you trust to help guide you through the process. Self-publishing is incredibly rewarding, but in a saturated market, your strategy matters. If you're considering self-publishing, there are a few questions I recommend asking yourself. Number one, do you know exactly who your book is for? And by the way, if you need help pinning down your ideal reader, make sure you check out my last video where I walk you through that whole process. Question number two, do you understand where your book fits into the current market? Number three, are you willing to invest in your book to make it as professional as possible? 4, are you willing to build an audience around your work? And number 5, how important is it to you that you retain full rights and ownership to the work that you put out there? Make sure you answer each of these questions honestly. However, if you love learning new things and you're willing to take on the challenge of building a professional author brand, then self-publishing isn't just worth it, it may just be the best decision you make in your author career. Now, don't forget, if you're serious about self-publishing the right way, make sure you download my free self-publishing checklist linked below the video. It walks you through the 5 phases of self-publishing and breaks down the most important steps in each of those phases along the way. And of course, don't forget to subscribe for more honest and strategic publishing guidance.